Thursdays DIY, and we'll be making another straw fascinator. This is part 2 of last week's DIY. So I have this cutout straw pieces that I'll be using for accessories, and I have the straw mats. You could cut out of your straw mat if you don't have pieces of straw like the one I just showed us earlier. So first thing I'll be doing is to fold my straw, not in half, but just a few inches above the center, above the midpoint. So after I do that, I'm going to gather along that line. So what we are going to have is going to be like a larger part and a smaller part, so it's not going to be equal. So after I gather this, I'm going to use my needle and thread to run a stitch along that point, that gathering, and try to secure it. And at this point, I'm basically just trying to um, ensure that it's all tight. If you observe, the straw was a bit bulky and difficult to work with, especially when trying to take my needle through it. So I have to push hard with all my strength. So the next thing I'll be doing is to attach my Alice band. So please watch carefully to see how I'm positioning my Alice band, so that the idea I had in my mind of this fascinator would actually come alive. In fact, as at this morning, I didn't know the design I'll be making with this straw mat. Funny enough, I just felt like I was going to come up with something different, something unusual, and I ended up with this. So I'm attaching my Alice band now. Please observe the positioning of the Alice band, because if you position your Alice band wrongly, the design is not going to come out. It's not going to look like what I made. So please, the positioning of your Alice band is very important, you know. So once you attach your Alice band, you're more or less like 60% done. All you need to do is to just add your trimmings, accessories, and you're good to go. So I'm trying to arrange the straw to sit as I want. I want the back part, that's the smaller part, to turn up, while the bigger part to go down. So I'll be using these arrow feathers to accessorize, and I'll be attaching them next. So yes, if you observe, I'm using my needle and thread to tack the feathers in. Now, I always advise that when it comes to feathers like this, except especially these ones that have this thick stem, um, I would advise you use needle and thread to first tacking. Even if you are going to use a glue at the end of the day, start first with needle and thread so that to avoid stories that touches the heart. It gives more security that way. So most of the things I'll be doing on this fascinator will be with my needle and thread. I think the only part I used the glue was at the end part to attach the final piece. So I try as much as possible to use less glue and more of needle and thread, unless where it's not really necessary. So this is what we have. The next thing I'll be doing is to attach my crinoline bow. I already made the bow from crinoline. I think you can learn how to do that from my other videos. But before I attach my crinoline, I want to work on my cut out pieces of straw. So I'll first unravel the straw pieces. That's easy. You just pull each strand strip by strip, and just like that. Then I went ahead to take out the threads on it. So that's what I'm doing here to ensure that the straw strips are neat. So I'll go ahead and do that for all the pieces. So I did this for just one of the strips, one of the cutout pieces. So the other one I'll be making a kind of um, loop design out of it. So that's what I'm making right now. So yeah, that's what I'll be making with it. Then I'll be attaching this to the crinoline. Then the design I make with the strips will be attached on it. So I'm using my needle and thread to attach these pieces together. So I'm attaching it to the crinoline, then I'll attach it to the fascinator. So a big shout out to all my new subscribers. It's like the community is growing every day. I'm grateful to have you here. Thank you for coming to this space. I am very, very positive that you are going to learn a lot. If you're being confused about how to get started with fascinators, trust me, from your very first video here, you should be able to come up with something. You should be able to make something. So I got someone reached out about physical classes. For now, I'm not having physical classes, but I do online classes. When I resume physical classes, I will definitely put the information here. So you're very free to join my online class if you're interested in that. But physical classes for now, no. Um, Thank you to everyone who has been sharing and liking my videos. I'm grateful for the support. So what I'm doing here now is the design I want to make with the strips I cut and cleaned out earlier. So I want to do like this loops thingy that just looks like a star at the end of the day. That's the idea behind this. So I'm going to just put all of them together and glue them, then just attach it at the middle. That's the idea I had in my head. And like I would always say, there's no limit to creativity. Um, just because I used crinoline and straw strips doesn't mean you should too. You could use anything that is available to you, as long as the outcome is nice, beautiful. You could even do something more creative. You could go ahead and do feathers, stones, rhinestones, pearls, whatever it is that comes to mind that you feel is going to work and looks nice on it. So you could just get creative. You don't have to do the exact design that I did. I always like it when, you know, people get creative with fascinators. You don't just have to limit yourself with, oh, this is what the tutor did, and you want to do the exact same thing. You can choose to make it more beautiful, more creative, and so I'm attaching the crinoline and the straw loop I made earlier to this. We are coming to the end of this tutorial, and the final part will be to attach the star piece we made to the center. I think I went ahead to add another gold beaded centerpiece to it to just give it that edge and that neat finish. After filming this tutorial, I did that. You might see it in the final picture of this fascinator. And with this, we have come to the end of today's tutorial. Thank you for being here. Here's the final picture, and I hope to see you next week Thursday for another wonderful DIY. Bye.